Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the noise to bring you those essential insights. Today, we're taking a look at Robert T. Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Pretty influential stuff. Our mission, well,
Yeah.
it's really to unpack how a different mindset, a different approach to, financial education, how that can really reshape your financial future. It's all shown through these two very distinct figures in his life.
Yeah, and what's interesting is this deep dive, it pulls its insights from a summary called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a 5-minute financial journey.
Yeah.
So it's super concise. Let's, cut right to the core of Kiyosaki's ideas without getting too bogged down.
Okay, good. So let's start with that main contrast then. The author's poor dad versus his best friend's rich dad. The poor dad. That was his actual father. Right. Highly educated, PhD, worked for the government.
Exactly. And his whole mindset was work hard, get good grades, find a secure job. That was the goal. He tended to avoid financial risk, avoided debt. Money was almost, a source of stress. Definitely not something you talked about openly.
Right. And then there's the rich dad. Such a different perspective.
Totally different. This was his friend's dad. Very little formal education, but wow, really savvy investor, an entrepreneur. He believed in making money work for you, actively pushed, financial education, and he wasn't afraid of taking calculated risks. Plus, he talked about money, about investing openly, which is pretty unusual for many families.
So that contrast is stark. Okay, let's unpack this. What are the big takeaways Kiyosaki wants us to get from this? For me, the first one that always jumps out is the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. What does that actually mean, though, in practice?
Yeah, that's fundamental. It means shifting your focus away from just the paycheck towards building assets, things that generate income passively.
Like what? Real estate.
Real estate, yeah. Or setting up businesses, investing in stocks, things like that. Kiyosaki's famous line, right? The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. It's about using your money differently.
Okay, so building on that, making money work for you. The next big piece seems to be financial education itself. He stresses that a lot, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Critically important. He argues, schools teach you how to be an employee, how to work for money, but not really how money works. So the key things to learn, he points to accounting, investing, understanding markets, even some basic law. These are kind of the rules of the game, the rules the rich use. And his point is that financial literacy, that matters more often than academic degrees.
Which leads to maybe one of the most practical but sometimes tricky lessons. Buy assets, not liabilities.
Yes. This is core Kiyosaki. So simple, but powerful. Assets put money in your pocket. Think rental income, stock dividends.
Okay.
Liabilities take money out. Car payments, maybe even a big house mortgage if it's just costing you money each month.
Right. Even your home could be a liability in his view.
Potentially, yeah, if it's not generating income. His whole point is that real wealth comes from owning those income-producing assets, not just from having a high salary. It's like he says, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep.
Makes sense. And then briefly, there's the fourth lesson. Mind your own business, which isn't quite what it sounds like initially.
Right, it's not necessarily quit your job. It's about building your own thing on the side, your own business, your own investments, develop multiple income streams.
Like a side hustle, kind of.
Exactly. Very relevant today. Take control. Don't just rely on the paycheck. Build your own asset column.
And connected to that, he mentions the power of corporations.
Yeah, using corporate structures, not just for big business, but for individuals too. For tax advantages, for asset protection. Learning some basics there, he argues, can be a real game changer for building wealth long term.
Okay, so lots of practical stuff. But the final lesson seems more mindset focused. Overcome fear and take calculated risks.
Definitely. Financial freedom, he says, it takes courage. It takes discipline. Don't let the fear of losing paralyze you. You will make mistakes probably. Learn from them, adapt, keep going.
So it's not just about working harder at your job.
No, not at all. This deep dive really shows it's a fundamental shift from job security to aiming for financial independence. You achieve that through, smart investing, always learning about finance, and actively building those assets we talked about. It's really about working smarter with your money.
Working smarter. I like that. Okay, so wrapping up, this whole discussion raises, I think, an important question for you listening. Based on these ideas from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, how might you start to maybe reevaluate what you consider an asset versus a liability in your own life? Something to think about.